Alrighty all, welcome back to the channel. Of course, my name is Tommy, and this here is the Gallery Backyard Barbecue. And I gotta tell you, I am definitely a little excited for this show, as I am gonna be bringing to market a brand new pit. And of course, I am talking about the EliteFyre. This is gonna be an electric grill, but not any old electric grill. We are talking one that gets up to 650 Fahrenheit. And I gotta tell you, it has more bells and whistles than you will ever need. All that said, it has to perform well. And as you guys know, I am 100% a recipe guy, and I've got a 4-pound tomahawk steak to throw on this sucker. And if it doesn't nail it, then you will find out about that at the end. If it does nail it, you will also find out about that at the end. So look, what I want to do here is let me just give you a brief rundown on this pit, and then we will get that tomahawk all seasoned up and get this show started. This is the EliteFyre Electric Grill, and I am telling you right now, after using it a few times, this is something you are definitely going to want to consider, as we are talking 260 inches of cooking space, 2 cast iron grates. Of course, this grill is going to be easy to clean. How about 2 racks of ribs, 7 to 8 burgers, or 11 to 12 hot dogs? All that aside, there is one thing that is going to define this electric grill, and that is how it cooks. You guys know me. You guys know that I am a recipe guy. So let's put it to test. So the first thing we got to do is get that EliteFyre fired up, and that couldn't be more simple to do. We will set that dial to 450 Fahrenheit. In the meantime, I've got some potatoes on the board here. We will get a little bit of moisture in that foil, get them seasoned up, get them wrapped up, bring them on over to the pit. Once that temp is reached, we've got to get one of those probes in so we can cook these potatoes precisely. In the meantime, let's move on over back to the board, because I got a 4-pound tomahawk steak that we got to get seasoned up. So if you want to test out the power of an electric grill, I cannot think of a better way to do it than a 4-pound tomahawk steak. And I got a little bit of a trick coming, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And we will be going with a pre-mixed granulated garlic, kosher salt, and 16 mesh black pepper. If you are not mixing your own, I've got links and a recipe right down in the description. You're going to want to check that out. I mean, mixing this stuff in bulk and keeping it in the cabinet is definitely the way to go. So we will get this tomahawk all seasoned up, both sides. Do not forget those edges. Once seasoned up, we will leave it here on the board to do its thing. As soon as this grill comes up to temp, we will get this tomahawk on, and we will see how she does. So about 45 minutes into the cook, you can see those potatoes have reached 180. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to raise the temperature up on this pit to 650 Fahrenheit. That is right, 650 Fahrenheit. We will then get the potatoes off. I will bring those in the house where I will stick them in the oven just to keep them warm and cook them a little bit more. Once this pit hits that 650 Fahrenheit, I will bring you guys back, and we will start having some fun with a 4-pound tomahawk steak. So that didn't take long at all, and the first thing we got to do is get this steak probed. It has been sitting out here room temperature for a bit, and as you can see, we are 62 Fahrenheit internal. I mean, if you know anything about me, you know I love steak cooked medium rare to rare, so this thing better perform, as I've got a house full of guests that are waiting for a piece of tomahawk steak. But before we get that steak on, like I said, I do have a trick up my sleeve, and that is going to be an included smoke tube. I've got it filled up with hickory pellets. We will get that all torched up. We will put that nifty little cover on, and I got to tell you right now, right off the bat, if you think this didn't add any smoke, I am here to tell you think again. As throughout this whole cook, the smoke didn't stop, and it definitely laid down a little bit of flavor on the steak. So once that temperature is reached, we will get that tomahawk on. I will let it go for 3 minutes. After that 3 minutes, I will bring you guys back, and we will give it a quarter turn. 3 minutes in, and as you can see, we are definitely rocking and rolling. I mean, look at the smoke coming off the pit. We will give it a quick quarter turn. I will let it go for about another 2.5 minutes or so. And then it is going to be time to flip it. But before we shut it down, we got to admire that color. We got to look at that sizzle. I mean, so far, I got to tell you, 5 minutes in, and I am certainly impressed. Let's get that steak back on, shut it down, and at this point, we are going to cook it to temp. Remember, I need it to be medium rare to rare, so stay tuned, because we are about to find out. Total cook time with this EliteFyre is going to come in right at that 12-minute mark. And as you can see, she is telling me this steak is 116 or so. That should be good enough for that rare to medium rare. There's no doubt about it. Let's get it off to move on over to the board to rest. But before we do, we got to admire that color. We got to admire that juice. We got to admire that char. I mean, come on, guys. This is an electric grill that looks like it did a mighty fine job on this steak. I mean, I gotta tell you, this steak looks absolutely incredible. You couldn't tell if this was cooked on a gasser or a pellet. So over to the board she goes. We will let it rest for about 5 to 6 minutes or so. That's gonna be my time. Your time is gonna be about 10 seconds. Alrighty, so let's see how this pit did. I did not check it with my handheld. I am going with what the EliteFyre told me it is, and that should be rare to medium rare. And that bone looks like we may have hit it perfectly. A quick cut down the center tells me that there is a perfectly cooked steak. There is no doubt about it. We will get one slice off, and you can see the juice coming off this tomahawk. I have to tell you, there is a place for this pit. If you have a small house or a small apartment or a small backyard, or maybe use it as a backup. Either way, let's go back in live. Let's talk about it, and let's close out the show. Alrighty, so look, first off, the EliteFyre worked flawlessly. There is no doubt about it. From start to finish, there wasn't one problem, and it definitely handled this tomahawk steak with breeze. And as you could see, it was definitely cooked perfect. So look, this is a brand new pit. It is a Kickstarter. I've got all the information you are going to need down in the description under the show notes. If you've got that small house or an apartment with a deck where they do not allow those big grills, this is going to be perfect for you. And also, you can detach it from the stand, or even keep it on the stand and use it in the house. I would advise not to use that smoke tube, however, as that sucker just laid down the smoke. So I was definitely pleased about that. I am going to have all information down in the description on this pit. You're going to want to check it out. There is no doubt about it. And that is going to close out this show here. My name is Tommy. This here is the EliteFyre. And until next time, we will see you soon.